Welcome, everybody, to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. Matt Yaloff with you, a show for you, the viewer. So tweet us or get on a video call and a chance to talk with a prominent major leaguer or former major leaguer. Today, we have a Hall of Famer. We have Alan Trammell joining us right now from Cooperstown, New York, before the Hall of Fame Classic. Alan, class of 2018, less than a year later, you're back there, and you're going to be a part of the Hall of Fame Classic. Are you excited for this?
Oh, absolutely. My heart isn't pounding nearly like it was a year ago. Unbelievable. But that's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Actually, just a little while ago, I ran into Trevor Hoffman, one of my induction classmates. And again, you just think back, shaking your head, just so proud and honored to be a part of this. But we're both much more at ease, as we all will. The whole class, each and every year you come back. Obviously, it's a privilege to be a part of the Hall of Fame, to have that inscription by the side of your name. But I don't take that lightly. I still have much respect for the game, for the ones that did it before us and well before us. And it's always a pleasure to come back to Cooperstown.
Well, you're a patient man, because you should have been in a long time before 2018. That's coming from me, my opinion. Meanwhile, the Hall of Fame Classic will be streaming live on MLB.com at 1 o'clock on Saturday, the Home Run Derby at 12 o'clock on Saturday. That inscription, the HOF, have you gotten used to that and signing your name along with that?
Well, to be honest with you, no. And I'm going to go back to at the induction ceremony, and prior to that, Goose Gossage, who was inducted 10 years prior. He said that it's been 10 years now that I'm in, and I still feel that like I can't believe it. And I'll second that sentiment exactly. And I'm sure I'm going to feel that way for hopefully years and years to come, and feel like a little kid that really, still a little kid at heart. Obviously don't look like one, but you just think back to your youth. And I don't think any player, when they're younger, growing up, obviously you want to make it to the major leagues. I mean, those are dreams that are real, but you don't think about the Hall of Fame. Sure. And just to think back that you did it right. I did it for a long time, and I was part of with a great group. Again, it doesn't really get any better than that.
That's great. A video caller is ready for you. His name is Nick. Welcome to the show, Nick. And what would you like to ask Alan Trammell?
Hey, thanks, Matt. Hi, Alan. It's an honor to talk to you.
Hello,
you were my
Nick.
guy growing up. My brother was a Lou Whitaker guy. And about 25 years ago, as a kid, my dad promised me he would take me to Cooperstown if you ever made the Hall of Fame. So last summer, my dad, my young son, my 9-year-old son, and I went out to Cooperstown for the induction, and it was a weekend I'll never forget. But I couldn't help but notice all the Tigers jerseys that were there that weekend. How gratifying was it to see all the Tigers fans?
Well, it's very gratifying, Nick. Thank you. First of all, are you from Michigan?
So my dad grew up in kind of Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo. I grew up in Northeast Indiana,
okay.
So real close. We were Tigers fans growing up there.
All right. Well, obviously the Tigers are a traditional team in the Old English D. Looking at it right now, it still looks pretty cool. To go in with one of your teammates, Jack Morris, hopefully Lou Whitaker, and maybe in the near future. But it's very special. Again, to have the people that you played for. I mean, obviously, to get into the Hall of Fame, you have to play for somebody. And mine happened to be the Detroit Tigers. Again, one of the traditional teams in baseball. Great history, great following, and I'm very proud again to represent the Detroit Tigers.
That's great, Nick. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
checking
guys.
in. Yeah, thank you. And it's great stuff there. Amazing that he was a kid. His dad said, we're going, and then finally they got to go. A tweet now for you, Alan. And the tweet is, how early in your career did you know that you and Lou Whitaker were a double play combo powerhouse?
Well, it really started early. I think we hit it off right from the get-go. And a quick story. 1976 was the year I was drafted. Lou Whitaker was drafted the year before out of high school. We're both out of high school, so we're a year apart. Well, I hadn't met Lou before in '76, but when the season was over, they invited most, and at the time, all your top prospects were invited to what they call the Florida Instructional League. Lou was the MVP of the Florida State League in 1976, playing for Jim Leland, who was the manager of the Florida State Tigers. And I hadn't met Lou yet. He was the MVP as a third baseman. We go to the instructional ball mid-September. They said, Lou, you're going to play second base now. And that's when I met Lou for the first time, and we hit it off right from the get-go, and I guess you could say the rest is history. But just wanted you to let you know how that thing started. He was the MVP as a third baseman, and they switched him. And I think if I was the MVP of a league, I might have said something, but Lou didn't say anything, but it worked out quite well for both of us.
It did, and for people who are too young to remember that combination that you formed with Lou, to this day, I will put you guys in the elite of elite double play combos in the history of the game. And I don't think many people would argue with me on that. And I appreciate that combo. I think he needs more recognition. And I know you've been on the record as saying the same thing. Let's get to another tweet right now. And for Alan Trammell, the tweet is, if you could have played a different position in your career, which one would it be and why?
Well, I would say center field, and much like the shortstop, he's the captain of the infield, and the center fielder is the captain. He's the take charge guy in the outfield. So it was just something that, even going back to a youngster growing up playing Little League, and even before that, it was something that I always felt that was kind of in my DNA, that I was more of a take charge guy, and I wanted the ball hit to me, and wanted to be able to roam around a little bit. Obviously at short, you have a little more space to cover, and that would be very similar to the center fielder, that you can run around and do a little bit more and be the kind of the captain of the ship.
Yeah, well, you want to be in the action, play up the middle, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, you got to be up the middle. All right, video caller right now. Jeremy is going to join us. Hello, Jeremy, and what would you like to know?
Hi. First of all, this is a huge honor for me. I'm a Canadian Tigers fan, and Alan, you are my all-time favorite ball player, so this is a huge thrill. I have...
Thank you.
My question is, what's it like working with the young infielders in the Tigers system? I know we have a lot of kids playing short, second, and third coming through. And also, if you have time, whatever happened to that amazing Pontiac Firebird that you won for the '84 World Series MVP? I have a picture of it, and it's super cool.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the second part. As I get older, I get a little more forgetful. But it actually was a Trans Am, and
Right.
That was what I won for being the MVP of the '84 World Series, and I used it and drove it actually for 6 or 7 years. But what I did was I auctioned it off, and I gave it to Sparky Anderson, his catch charity in Detroit. And they auctioned it off, and they raised some good money for a great cause. And again, my mentor, Sparky Anderson. So it's probably somewhere in Michigan. I can't exactly tell you where, but somebody has it, I'm assuming. And again, that brings back great memories. The first part of your question, I believe, about how does it feel about working with young infielders, again, that's in my blood, it's in my DNA, and I feel it's called passing the torch. And now that I don't play anymore, and again, taught by one of the masters of the game, Sparky Anderson, we feel we owe it to the game to pass our knowledge along to some of the younger guys, that maybe one day they'll be able to wear a Tiger uniform or any professional uniform someday, and make it to the major leagues and live the dream that I got to live, and many others. So I enjoy that. I enjoy passing the torch, as I call it, and trying to spread the word.
Jeremy, thank you for that. And let me continue here with Sparky. Your favorite memory of him. Tell us what that is, because we only know what we saw in a game, but you knew him well off the field. What do you think of when you think of him?
Yeah. Well, I think of a second father, to be honest with you. I think, again, as a mentor that he was. There was quite a few people that helped, but none more than Sparky. And just, going back to when you're young and impressionable, which is what, at the time when I first met Sparky, I was in my early 20s. So again, I was green and growing and looking like a sponge. And he was that man to be able to help, he was a second baseman, as an middle infielder, but just really not only teach us how to play the game properly, but how to be a professional, how to be a a good parent, how to be a good father, the whole package. He was looking for the total package, and not only myself, he took a lot of people under his wing, and I'll be forever grateful. And the other story that I like to mention was the 1984 World Series when Kirk Gibson hit a 3-run homer off Goose Gossage in Game 5. And we were up 5-4 at the time, and that made it 8-4 when he ended up hitting a 3-run homer. But the fact that Sparky Anderson and Dick Williams both were mic'd. Now, we know the story and how it all unfolded, but we didn't know they were mic'd. And that was kind of cool to look back after the fact and listen to, Dick Williams had said, they wanted to walk Gibby because first base was open, and Goose talked him out of it, saying, no, I don't want to walk him. He's had good success against him. And, Gibby ends up hitting a 3-run homer. So that was good. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
And, be able to have that, on camera, and we can look back in baseball history is very cool. And, and then a couple years later, Gibby hits the home run off of Eck as a pinch hit home run in the bottom of the 9th inning of Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. Gibby had a flair for the dramatic, but Sparky was a big part of that whole process because he was the one that nurtured us.
Yeah, and I'll mention that Goose Gossage will be a coach at the Hall of Fame Classic.
Yeah.
So you guys can talk about the '84 World Series, and you can show him your ring. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do it. We have another tweet for you.
We've talked about that. And it's all good stuff.
Okay, good. All right, a tweet. Your favorite ballpark that you played in, not including the old Tiger Stadium.
Right. Well, that's Fenway Park. And much like Tiger Stadium, they were both built in 1912. Tiger Stadium is no longer there, just the memories are still there. Fenway Park is still going strong with some renovations, but that was where I made my major league debut along with Lou Whitaker. And just a cool place. I mean, obviously the history that's there, but making your major league debut there at Fenway Park is something that I'll never forget.
Yeah, and like Fenway, Tiger Stadium, on television, unmistakable. You knew it when you saw it.
Yeah.
It was unique. All right, here we go. Alan Trammell, a lightning round, a question. I'm going to ask you questions, and you're going to throw out the first thing you think of. Here you go. Pitcher you feared most to face. Who would that be?
Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Quick and easy answer.
There you go. Okay. And I'm not going to question you on why. Who was your favorite teammate?
Well, Sweet Lou.
Yeah.
Sweet Lou Whitaker. 19 years together and 1 year in the minor leagues together. That's 20. We knew each other like the back of our hands, and just an honor again to be able to say that we were the longest running double play combination in the history of baseball.
Yeah, and darn good. That doesn't even do it justice. All right, your favorite player to watch today?
Mike Trout. And Christian Yelich is another one, but I'm sticking with Mike Trout. I think arguably right now is the best player in baseball.
And no coincidence, he plays up the middle. Favorite musician that you listen to?
Well, I'm a classic rock. So, my old days growing up in the 70s, it was Led Zeppelin.
There you go.
I don't know if too many of the youngsters would remember that, but Led Zeppelin, classic rock.
I tell them, Google it if you don't know.
Google it.
Google it. All right.
right.
Do you
Google
have any hidden talents?
Yeah, singing in the shower where nobody can hear it. You know what? I'm a sports fanatic. I do like to play golf. Not that I can say that my golf game is anything that good and any that special, but it's something that I really do enjoy. But I'm just a baseball and a sports junkie.
And the final question, your favorite vacation spot?
Hawaii. That's great golf and just the beach. And I grew up in San Diego, so I'm used to the beach. But Hawaii is very, very special.
Alan Trammell, you are special. You were and are. And thank you so much for your time on the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.
It's been my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
All right, Alan Trammell there in Cooperstown for the Hall of Fame Classic. If you want to check out our archives, go to MLB.com, go to video, and click on Chatting Cage. I'm Matt Yaloff. I'll see you soon. Take care.